I am a keynote speaker. I open conferences with my opening keynote because it is about curiosity. I work with leaders who want more influence so that they can motivate their teams and close more deals. I also work with parents who want to build deeper relationships with their children by better communication. Shared that I tend to open conferences because the keynote is about using curiosity, and it's a great way to build connections with people throughout the conference. I teach my framework called CARA, C-A-R-A, which stands for Curiosity, Attunement, Resonance, and Amplification. It really helps people build deeper relationships filled with trust and influence with those whom they work with and live with. It's a fresh perspective on leadership, sales, parenting, and everyday conversations. My background is in hospitality and meetings, and I found that successful people weren't necessarily charismatic. They had a certain style of communicating with people, with others. And I also am a lifelong pianist, which means I have a focus, I have a certain way of understanding the music, the energy behind things. So I started noticing a correlation between music and conversations. They each have a rhythm, a cadence, a pacing, and a timing to them, and it all with an underlying emotion. Yes. So I love the opening keynote of a conference. I love to bring high energy, story filled presentations on how to create connections with others using curiosity. Clients love to bring me in to open the conference because I provide strategies for their attendees to use then during those networking opportunities throughout the rest of the conference. Following the keynote, then we tend to enroll a small group, maybe it's a certain level of management or leadership, into an online mastermind group so that they can talk through those situations at work and do a deeper dive into the CARA framework, understanding curiosity, attunement, resonance, and amplification. As a result of attending one of my presentations, participants walk away with an understanding of how to ask the right kind of questions to open up the conversation. Meaningful questions that are positive and open-ended, that get someone talking about what is really valuable, what is really important to them. It really helps you understand how a person operates, what's most important to them, what motivates them in their work. So after attending a presentation, they learn those questions to ask. Then they learn how to attune to the person who's talking. So as they're listening, how do you focus on the body movements, the facial expressions, the tone of voice, the posture of the person who is answering you so that you can understand the meaning or the emotion behind the words? There's a rhythm to the context, there's a rhythm to the meaning that someone is sharing with you. And when you can understand that emotion, you can then resonate. The next step in the framework is resonating with someone on their frequency. You can understand the vibrational level, and when you respond in a way that resonates in harmony with another person, then you're creating trust. That is the moment when you're starting to build that influence with another person because they have just answered a fabulous question that you've asked, and they've been wondering, do they really care about what it is that I have to say? So when you answer in a way that uplifts them, that says, I understand, I see you, the other person feels heard and felt. And that's where the real connection starts to happen. And then finally, that last step in the framework is amplification. How do you keep that feeling going? How do you ask a follow-up question, perhaps share a brief thought in response to that experience, so that you can cycle through the whole framework again and keep that feeling going? It really leaves a positive, lasting impression on someone when they can share and they know that you have expressed an interest in them and you value what they have to say. After attending one of my keynote presentations, I had a client call me and tell me about a situation that she had with one of her customers. My client attended a networking event where a particular customer who is very negative was there with her. And my client has struggled with her negativity in the past. And this event was no different in terms of her customer's negativity. She wanted to focus on politics and everything that was going wrong. But this time, instead of retreating or getting tied up in the negativity, my client tried a new strategy. She asked questions that would help direct the conversation in a different direction, a more positive one. And while not every question landed with that particular customer, she kept trying new questions until she found one that really resonated with her customer and was positive oriented. So the conversation went in a much better direction. They had a lovely conversation. And in the end, my client was so proud that she had directed the conversation almost like a conductor. She was composing that interaction to be one that was more positive and more productive. And that's what the keynote is all about. It's about attuning to the other person and helping compose something that is just more beautiful, more filled with connection. I started playing the piano when I was 8 years old, and it really has taught me how to focus on the energy and the emotion of a piece of music, which is so similar to a conversation with someone. When you're engaged in a one-on-one conversation, you can understand the flow of it. Every piece of music has a natural flow, and so does a conversation. It has a cadence, it has a rhythm to it. So understanding the music and really being able to listen to the musicality of notes being played on the piano has helped me understand the musicality of a conversation. One that you can attune to, you can pay attention to the other person's energy, and you can kind of play off of it. You can help direct it in one way or another. You can slow it down, you can bring it up. And it's just wonderful to be able to bring the two together and create, in a conversation, create that resonance with another person. If I had one piece of advice to give, it would be to wonder. Wonder about other people. Wonder what someone is going through. Wonder what the possibilities for another person are. Because when you start to get curious about who another person is, oh, doors open. In fact, this is what I love about curiosity, is that we all live our own lives through our perspective, our own experiences. When you're engaged in a conversation with someone, if you can put yourself into their perspective, into their experience, you have now added their perspective to your own, and your sense of understanding and awareness in the world has just expanded. In a way, you could think about it as curiosity is a selfish thing because it's something that you're doing for yourself. But the bonus is that by being curious and really paying attention to another person, oh, you're creating such a beautiful connection and a sense of belonging. And really, isn't that one of our foundational needs, is to feel like we belong? All it takes is curiosity and wondering about another person.